Terminator 6 or Terminator Dark Fate is on the way later this year. Thank God they didn't stick with the other working title, Terminator Phoenix, because that was bollocks. Hey everyone, I'm Jim and welcome back to My Movie Obsession, a place for film obsessives and geeky movie fans, and it's time to talk about Terminator Dark Fate, or Terminator 6. Now, I was really not behind this, guys, when I first heard about it. You know, Terminator Genisys for me killed all interest in the Terminator franchise for good. And I've only just started coming around to this, and I might be falling for a hook, line and sinker, just like I did with Terminator Genisys. James Cameron is back in a producer role, even though James Cameron sat there and kissed Terminator Genisys' ass and talked a load of bollocks down to the camera.
The franchise has been reinvigorated.
Chill out, dickwad.
Hopefully they're really going to try and be loyal to the first two films and not lose their way and finally produce a worthy sequel, because there really hasn't been a worthy Terminator sequel. So here are 5 things I want from Terminator 6 Dark Fate. So the first thing is a future as described by the first and second movie. When we actually finally saw the future in Terminator Salvation, it was just an open world. It was like a video game open world. You could go anywhere. You were having a right laugh. There was no risk at all. Whereas in Terminator 1 and 2, the vision of the future was just dark, bleak. You know, people were living on top of each other underground. They were just stuck in hell, and those shots of the future in Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, I always wanted to see the film of that. I always wanted to see that bleak, terrifying reality come to life. Kyle Reese's monologues in Terminator 1 need to be respected. We need to have a dark, cold, bleak future, and we need laser guns, guys. They can't be using machine guns and fucking chain guns and fucking machetes and bullshit like that. They have to be using laser guns, because that's what they were using in the flashbacks of Terminator 1 and 2.
No problemo.
And the next thing is that Sarah Connor needs to have changed. Now, by the end of Terminator 2, Sarah had a more optimistic look at the future. You know, she had found her closure. She had found something to believe in life. She had reconnected with her son. Now, obviously, in this one, all of that's down the fucking tube, and Judgment Day is on the way again. But Sarah can't just be reverted back to the crazy, you know, emotionally cold, vile to her son, Sarah. We can't have that, and I actually feel like they're going to do that because they know that that's what we liked in Terminator 2, but you have to remember, Sarah Connor went on an emotional journey in that film, which was actually the real changing point for her, was reacting to her son's empathy. You know, for me, the best moment in the film, one of the best moments in the film, is where John comes to stop her killing Miles Dyson, and she looks at him and says, "You came here to stop me," and she realises, oh yeah, you did, you're John Connor. And I love that moment. I love that moment because John's empathy and John's, you know, humanity is what brings her out of that place, and we need her to be a more developed person, because that's what she became. She needs to have empathy. She can't be closed off. She can be tough, obviously. She can be tough. She can be badass, but she needs to have she needs to have regained her motherly ways, and I know it sounds a little bit sexist, her feminine ways. She did have an emotional journey in Terminator 2, and we can't discount that, because that ending, where Sarah is moving forwards with a sense of hope, can't be forgotten. We can't just have her have lost all hope again. We can't have that.
I know.
The next thing I want from Terminator 6 is for them to get John Connor right. Yes, of course, John Connor is in this film, and it's actually young actor Jude Colley is going to be playing the body double, with Edward Furlong's 1991 facial likeness being applied through the use of CGI. This could go badly, and we all know, because we remember Leia at the end of Rogue One, everyone lost their shit. I don't hate it that much, but imagine a whole movie of it. This is a bit concerning. I mean, in a way, I'm really happy to have John Connor back. I'm presuming it's either going to be flashbacks or it's going to be time travel, and John Connor is actually in the film. And you know what, Edward Furlong as John Connor, that's one of the greatest child performances of all time. To actually hear that we're going to see him again in a movie, I'm conflicted, but I'm happy, but I'm also worried, because the last time the Terminator franchise brought back some other characters was Terminator Genisys, where they completely fucked Carl Reese in the arse and Sarah Connor. They destroyed both of those characters.
You've got to be shitting me.
No, I am not shitting you.
You know what, I'd probably just rather have Jude Coddy play John Connor, just so we got something real. Jude Coddy looks a bit like Edward Furlong, so why not, you know what I mean? But I guess they want him to look like Edward Furlong as much as possible. I am intrigued, guys, but I'm just a bit worried, because what worked about John Connor in Terminator 2 was they really balanced that smart-ass kid and that comedy with John's empathy, John's humanity. You saw glimpses of what John would go on to be, and Edward Furlong's performance was actually really layered. There was loads to it. It's a huge risk to bring him back. I want to see him back because I have this nostalgia feeling for Terminator 2, but nostalgia isn't enough to ride on, and they're putting a lot of pressure on themselves to bring back such an iconic character, to bring back all these iconic characters and try and do them justice. It hasn't worked ever in the Terminator series, but if you can have John Connor come back, one of my favourite young characters in all of film, and you deliver it, and I buy him with the CGI, and I like Jude Coddy's, I guess, likeness, you can deliver that, wow, you've done well. So I'm kind of conflicted. I'm glad that John Connor's in it, and I'm interested how he's going to be in it. Is it flashbacks? Is it time travel? I don't know, but it's all those kind of the special elements of Terminator 2 coming back. So if you fuck it up, you really fucked up. You've done something. If you can fuck up Arnold coming back, Linda coming back, James Cameron coming back, and John Connor being in it, you can fuck up anything. So please do John Connor right. Show his empathy, show his humanity, show that smart-ass boyish charm, but what was behind the eyes, which was the future saviour of the human race. And please don't make the CGI distracting. And the next thing is Arnold Schwarzenegger not relying on jokes about his age or humour. No, mate, we've had enough of this. Just no, Arnie. We don't want to hear about how you're old and obsolete. We don't want to hear about how your skin ages on the outside. You're going to have to make your way around this and not mention that he's old, because I'm sick of it.
Talk to the hand.
I don't want to see the iconic Terminator talking about being an old sod. I don't want to see that. That's of no interest to me. And I didn't like it in Terminator Genisys. I don't know how the hell they're going to get around it. I know Arnie is actually rumoured to be playing someone who the Terminator is modelled on, as well as the Terminator. So that could be interesting, you know, just focus on that. Just, you know, Arnie's done some good performances. Go back to that. Don't just make a joke of Arnie. Arnie's been so parodied and made a joke of that the Terminator 2 Arnie is long gone. And if you're going to pay tribute to Terminator 2 and you want to recapture that essence, you've got to go with what worked. And there was humour in there, yes, but Arnie wasn't a joke. The Terminator wasn't a joke. And now that he's older, you've really got to protect his reputation. You can't just poke fun at him, and I really feel like Terminator Genisys was kind of poking fun at the fact he was older. Find some way around it. Don't talk about Arnie's age. Just give us one last great, amazing performance in Terminator.
I'll be back.
And the final thing that I want to see from Terminator 6 Dark Fate is don't focus too much on the action and don't make it a popcorn movie. Terminator 1 and 2 are not popcorn movies. You can stuff your face with popcorn whilst watching them, and I've done it many times, but they're not popcorn movies. They make you think. They have interesting themes. They have amazing action, but they have interesting themes. They're written brilliantly, and I think that's one of the main things that the sequels have never managed to do. The scripts are so tight in the first two Terminators. You know, the themes are so incredible that it was just so hard to replicate. So they just made popcorn movies. Terminator 3 was a popcorn movie, Salvation was a popcorn movie, as was Genisys. They just think that, oh, it's Terminator, lots of massive action scenes. What's the big action scene with a vehicle in this one? And that wasn't what it was about at all. They need to go back to actually caring about what they're doing, actually making films that have a message, films that have something to say about humanity. They can be action films, but they need to have something to say about the fate of humanity. And that shouldn't just be a fucking app called Genisys that everyone's getting because it connects your phone, your car and your dick. No, just actually talk about humanity and actually talk about empathy. You know, one of the massive themes of Terminator 2 was empathy, and it was amazingly worked in, and you need to bring those things back. I need to be familiar in the theatre, and I didn't feel familiar in Terminator 3, I didn't feel familiar in Salvation, didn't feel familiar in Genisys, and this is why I'm concerned. I feel like it's very, very hard to capture lightning in a bottle, and they're trying to do it by bringing back everyone. So that's my 5 things I want to see from Terminator 6 Dark Fate. What do you think, guys? Do you want to see these things? What do you want to see from Terminator 6 Dark Fate? Are you excited for this movie, or are you not interested at all? Let me know in the comments down below. So thanks for watching, everyone. My name's Jim, and please subscribe. I have many retro movie reviews, superhero movie reviews, and geeky movie videos to come. Thanks for watching once again, and I will see you guys next time.
Hasta la vista, baby.